What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Web Buzz Podcast, where this week I promise you it is going to be jam-packed with something that's got me freaking on fire. While that intro video was going, I was literally sitting here, Roger. I don't normally do this, but I shared this live stream into about 25 different groups during that 2 minutes, simply because today's topic, I personally feel, is that important for people to freaking pay attention to. And I'm biting my lip and I see this right here. JP's already on here watching, saying, nope, that's 2010. It pisses him off and fires him up too. I'm ready to really drop the gold bars on today's topic, but I got to give you the first, I got to give you an introduction like I always do. So Google Nader, welcome. Roger promised me, folks, he was going to be the kind of the quiet voice of reasoning. He was going to rein in the fury that Shawn was going to unleash on everybody. But I'm going to let you get started by saying hi before I kind of go off.
Yeah, man, I've been trying to keep you calm all day about this topic.
Fired up about this one.
It's like, it's all right. It's all about the information you put out there and how you explain it, right? So I think today's topic and what we're going to get into is going to kind of answer a lot of questions, hopefully, right? Kind of you're probably going to look at pages, strategy.
We might be losing Roger. I think your internet got a little unstable there, buddy.
Uh-oh.
He's got family in his house. Yeah, you're back now. Okay. We'll see if it holds on for you.
All right. Don't know where I lost you guys, but I'm just gonna say the last thing I said. We might hurt some people's feelings. So we're just
I'm gonna guarantee I'm gonna hurt somebody's feelings. I mean, I'm just gonna I don't guarantee a lot of things very often, but this is one I'm gonna guarantee today. If you stick around, if you listen into this, and if you are on live, tell us hi in the comments. Let us know that you're here. But today we are gonna break down our squeeze pages dead when it comes to digital marketing. Hello, people, wake up. It's 2021. What do you think the answer to this one is? Now, before we go into it, before we tear it apart and all this stuff, you can pretty much just probably tell by the way I started the episode whether squeeze pages are a viable option or the go-to for digital marketing in 2021 or not. Simple answer, no. Why has this got us fired up? Why am I livid about it? A couple things. You guys know, if you've been watching or listening to the show on a consistent basis, if you're one of our clients out there, what Roger and I do at Top Results Consulting, REI Toolbox, our focus on the digital space for service-based business, predominantly real estate, is help you show up organically, is help you drive natural eyeballs. And I talk about this to our clients all the time. Your website, the entire encompassing component of a website, is like your brick and mortar store. And we're going to break down what does a squeeze page today do? What is it really? How does that fit into the mold? What's the purpose of it? But what it's got, why I'm so fired up about this is, Roger, you and I spend so much time trying to deliver the most current, accurate information from a digital standpoint to the people that we service, not just our clients. That's why we started this podcast, was to be able to bring the most current, up-to-date digital marketing tactics, strategies, things that are going on, right? Changes, evolution to the digital space. And I've been hearing more and more from some of our clients and non-clients that happen to be in some other programs. And I'm not going to throw the program names out there, throw them under the bus, but they're in other educational style platforms with quote unquote gurus who are probably very knowledgeable in the space that their main niche is around. But where they're not as knowledgeable is on the digital marketing side of things, and there's some misinformation going out there. And that probably fires me up more than anything, is that there are business owners being fed wrong information that are going to, and I see we've got a comment here from somebody watching said, greetings, Shawn and Roger. Learned about squeeze pages the hard way. That's exactly what I was just going to say. There's business owners out there who are being fed misinformation and are going to learn the wrong way. That, as to what JP said a little earlier, that this stuff hasn't been around since like 20 whatever, right? It's 2021. 2010, 2011, 2012 online marketing will not get you results today. So I'm going to get off the soapbox there for a second and let you kind of elaborate on that. But that right there is just enough to fire me up. God, people, listen. I promise you, stick with us by the end of this episode. You'll have the right information on how all this blends together, and quit listening to the misinformation being fed to you by some programs that are just teaching outdated information. End rant.
Right. Love the rant though. I mean, that's money right there.
I told you, I warned you before we kicked off.
You did, man. That's
hot and heavy.
I gotta take a breath real quick because that was coming in hot, buddy. So yeah, love the comments that are coming in. Exactly. And at the end of the day, I mean, I promised Shawn that I would be the voice of reason, or try to be, right? Because I'm on the same page. We've been in this game a long time. And is this wrong information? At one point it was not, right? So I'll start with that. At one point it was not. It was absolutely the strategy. Followed a certain path or certain plan of action for your digital marketing would work, right? The other thing that we all know, I mean, if you don't know, you're basically living under a rock, right? Technology changes fast, right? Technology changes
100%.
very fast. And then and I keep going back to this. I hate to keep going back to, what happened in 2020 and everything, but it is true, right? If you thought technology moved fast in 2020 with the pandemic, it went even faster, right? So what a lot of the information is showing us, a lot of these platforms had to move at least 5 years ahead. So things that they would basically deployed 5 years from now, they had to deploy now, right? Because the need was now. The education around and the need for online tools, the knowledge, the basically craving for knowledge on how to do your online presence came now. So all these tools kind of moved ahead. So now we're sitting here 2021, and Shawn and I are still getting questions or hearing about this, about these 2010 strategies. And what we wanted to do is kind of set the record straight and hopefully give you some knowledge, right? So then you can make your own decisions. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Because when we talk landing pages, then it comes back to verbiage, right? What do you mean by landing pages? It could be that we're on the same page and we just need to kind of give you a little bit of guidance. In most cases that we've kind of run into, it is not. It's basically the same information from years ago. So we wanted to kind of clear that up. So I'll pass it back to you.
And on that part of language, I'm going to pull this back up right here. I think where the language piece comes in is the people that are out there teaching and using the phrase squeeze page. That's where the confusion comes. And I'm going to break this down real quick. I'm going to give kind of the backstory on squeeze page. What was the purpose before? Why is it that what they're teaching you today is completely just outdated? And I'm almost as comfortable to say you can literally go and tell them you're wrong in this capacity that you're teaching it. And if you want to challenge it, hit Shawn Tiberio up. I will go toe-to-toe in debating this one with just about anybody. Squeeze pages, back in the day, the way that it was taught was core website, basic homepage, about us page, maybe a contact us page, maybe a page with a list of services. That was what was taught from a core website standpoint. Was only needed from a credibility end, right? Build it, they'll come. Build it, people will go look it up. Build it, people search your business name and find it. That was that strategy. So what digital marketers did at that time was go and get very specific URLs. I'm in real estate. I'm targeting probate people. I'm in Youngstown, Ohio. I would try to buy the domain probatesyoungstown.com, youngstownprobate.com, stop probate or fix probates youngstown.com, right? Maybe it was foreclosures. stopforeclosures.com. And everybody preached that you had to have this domain that matched the campaign, that it landed them on a single page that had nothing other than the information about that one particular target. And you just squeezed them. This is where the name Squeeze Page came. You squeezed them because they couldn't do anything. They had one choice: do whatever you put on that page, or back out of it, go back to the Google search, exit out of it, go to another page. That isn't the strategy today. And I'm going to let Roger break down why, just from a pleasing Google standpoint, why Google doesn't even like those. But the other element to Squeeze Pages, what it kind of transitioned into, was funnel marketing. Funnels then became the new Squeeze Page, because I can build a funnel that had very specific steps that moved the individual from that page to the next step in the process, to the next step in the process. But that whole funnel was around a singular basic audience, right? I got a book sitting right here. I want to sell the book. Well, I have it on my main website, but I could also build a funnel set of Squeeze Pages where I market and drive traffic directly to that would be interested in buying the book, move them to an order form, move them to a confirmation page, right? Maybe even position some other stuff behind that. But the whole goal was to get them onto the book landing page, the book page of the funnel. The key behind what I just said right there is I got to drive the traffic to that. And when I'm driving traffic to this page over here, where they're not getting is to my overall brand, is to my overall core website. So Roger, why don't you, I think you're back. I've been watching you here a little bit. Your internet's been kind of glitchy back and forth. Folks, he's got family at the house. He had to run 3 flights of steps all the way upstairs 10 minutes before we were supposed to go live, try to find a quiet corner. So we'll give him a little bit of break this week on it. But kind of elaborate on that, the kind of the Squeeze Page piece, and why Google really doesn't like Squeeze Pages today.
Yeah, absolutely. So going back to what I said originally, everything's changing, right? Technology is changing. And what I left out is I was talking about every other software out there, that was trying to kind of keep up with what was happening. Well, guess what? Google is essentially a data provider, right? A software, a technology, right? It's technology. So they also made adjustments to their algorithms and how they actually please the searcher. So to kind of start looking at that and analyzing that even more, to keep it very simple, Google's now moving towards basically awarding a lot of these searches out there to brands, right? They want trust. They want to know that you're an expert in your industry. You have some kind of authority in your industry, and then they can trust you, right? That's the ultimate search result for you, the Googler, the person putting the keywords into Google and looking for something. You want Google to give you that information and for it to be basically what you're looking for. So we go to the search intent, right? It's like, first of all, if you basically do that right, which in some cases the old method did do it correct. Your search intent was correct. Shawn kind of mentioned it. Get an exact match domain, and then just one page that had just a little bit of information. That way you land it on that page, you get locked in, Squeeze Page, right? And then they try to squeeze the information out of you, basically your name, email, phone number, whatever it might be, right? To then go to that next step. They're trying to squeeze, so you're forcing that. Well, that goes 100% against what Google's trying to do. They're trying to provide one, search intent. When someone actually puts in a keyword, they want to provide the correct search. But not only that, they want to provide a good user experience. So when you really look at what a landing page is supposed to do, it's supposed to squeeze that information, it's supposed to sell you on the spot and squeeze that information out of you. Well, that again goes against what Google's trying to kind of provide for its searches. It wants someone that's going to put a nice chunk of information, valuable information, possibly some media. What I mean by that, maybe a video or some pictures, something that you can share to really engage with that user, right? That's a great user experience. And then you can give them your offer, right? So that's kind of what some of the pieces, and that's just kind of scratching the surface, guys. I'm only talking about the actual page, what we right now are discussing, a landing page. But to Shawn's point, one of the things that does not get talked about, why Shawn and I are sitting here on this podcast today, is what's not being talked about is the promotion of that. Everybody tells you, hey, look, and I'll give you an example. A lot of these platforms, educational platforms, gurus, whatever you want to call them,
Just
they
say
will
it.
do it.
Misinformed individuals teaching junk.
Exactly, right? They'll go and they'll say, look, guys, I'm going to put up a landing page and look at how many leads or how many sales I get by doing this. And they go and do it. And guess what? They do get it. Why? They didn't tell you that they've been in the game for 10 years and they built their expertise, their trust, and their audience is huge. And they're teaching it to somebody that's just entering the game, right? Whatever your industry might be. And they're telling you, you can do it just by putting a landing page on. That is false. What you have to do is build that 10 years that they have. And guess what? The good news is there are strategies, new strategies to speed up that 10 years of what they did, right? And step in the potholes and all that stuff. And that's what Shawn and I and our agency basically does. We try to educate around that or provide the services around there to build that expertise. Let me show you how you're going to build that expertise. Let me show you how you're going to build authority around your space. Let me show you, once you do those things, how you're going to move on to building trust. And now let me show you that you're getting traffic to your landing page, to your website, whatever that might be, right? And now once you do that, let me show you how you're going to convert them. That was not put a landing page on there and you're going to get leads. And that's what we keep hearing.
Hold on. That calls for.
Yeah.
So I think simple, and I think he's freezing back up on us again, but simple, there he is, he's back. Simple answer. Squeeze pages, dead. There's a far better way of doing this. And this is actually something we do for our clients right out of the box. Doesn't matter what level you're working with us at. Your site comes loaded with the correct components that can operate. Keyword in there. That can operate like a squeeze page, like a dedicated landing page, but is properly structured the way Google wants to see it from a brand cohesiveness, from a brand element, where it actually ties into the silos and speaks favorably to that Google algorithm to actually show up and rank. Because I think that's another part. We didn't even get into this. The traditional build of a squeeze page, they were never meant to rank. They were never meant to actually show up in the search. The point was to build it and just funnel traffic to it from other forms of marketing. Paid ads, right? This is back when Facebook ads were like 10 cents per eyeball. Now it's like $25 for a lead on there. Little different strategy today, which is why the way our platforms are set up has to change. So just talk briefly. I don't want to go too deep in this. If this is something you guys are considering, you're trying to figure this out, you've been being taught this other side, you want to learn the other side, I'll actually encourage you. I'm doing a webinar later tonight on the new 2021 SEO strategies that Roger and I are using with our clients. I'm going to show you guys some examples. I can get into some of this tonight on the webinar. Ping me on social media. I'll send you over that link, get you registered and show up. It's 8 p.m. Eastern time is when I've got that scheduled. But if not, you can catch the replay. There will be a replay of it out there. But I don't want to go too deep in this, but just kind of briefly explain a little bit, Roger, how kind of from our level, right? When we build out a client, why do we structure some of the pages the way that we do? And how do they kind of operate in this kind of dual component kind of structure?
Yeah, absolutely. So great question, by the way, because that's exactly what you're going to be talking about later tonight. Because I just want to be very, very clear. We're probably going to just scratch the surface. This is not everything, guys. There's a lot more to what it takes to build that, expertise, authority, and trust to get to that point, that end result that you're looking for. But the way we structure in a very simple manner here, we're number one, we're looking for search intent. That involves our keywords. So we need to go out there and find the correct keywords that people in your industry are looking for, type it into Google, and those are the ones that you're going to utilize that you're going to utilize for your landing page or your website, whatever it might be, right? That page. And then after that, you're looking for creating intent, basically, a user experience. So once we nail down the intent, right? Once we get people there, we're not going to lie to them. Now we're going to go ahead and give them a fantastic experience. How do we do that? With great content and great, pretty much like I talked earlier, media, which comes down to videos, pictures, anything like that. And then we can give them an offer if that's what it calls for, or we can invite them to check out another piece of content within our website to continue learning about the topic, right? And that's where it starts building. That's why I'm not going to go too deep, because then we start getting into the interlinking for other valuable pieces of content. And then you're building that trust with that person, that authority. Now they're thinking, I just didn't learn something here. Then they gave me something else that they talked about, and something else. Now I'm ready to buy, right? Or to do business with this company. So those are the things. Like, you got to have search intent with your keywords. You got to provide a fantastic experience, and then you got to provide value, right? Whatever you're giving away or whatever you're selling service, it has to be top notch. And that's how that is our main focus when we build these pages, right? And at the end of the day, it might be a service, might be a product, or it might be a location, some kind of experience that you want to nail down, right? So that's kind of the whole breakdown of things. But I know we only touched on here very, very little on ads, because I saw in one of the posts that you put out earlier today, someone asked, "Hey, do you guys run ads?" Right? Don't know who this.
Kind of losing him again there, but I know exactly.
Do we offer that service?
There you go. You're back now. You started to
Sorry
say about
that.
the post with the question about ads.
Yeah. So in regards to ads, even around ads, you have to watch, kind of be careful with the type of value. Before, it was there, but not as much, right? Because the competition was a little lower. The cost per ads, the cost per click was lower. So people weren't looking at those metrics. Now cost per click has gone up, right? The competition has gotten fierce when it comes to ads, right? So now not only do you have to have a great landing page, right? Or authority and everything around your brand, but you got to nail down the ad point. Before they even get to your lander, you better nail down that ad portion. And that's something that doesn't get talked about. And the last thing that I'll throw in here is what doesn't get talked about as well is, if you do a good job building your expertise, authority, and trust within your brand, your cost per click will go down and your rank in the ads will stay up. So that is a little bit of a tip as well that people don't talk about, but it's part of this whole conversation here.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's, on our side, we are managing some ads for some clients, and this is something that myself and our ads team on that end, it's a constant evaluation of how many views did the ad get, what was the click-through rate of the of that ad, we're tag managing the crap out of that landing page and constantly making adjustments. Where are things located at, what's being moved, right? Because all of that has to go into this strategy if we're going to try to funnel traffic into a based, just a kind of locked in squeeze page in this sense. And I think that's why I started this off saying that's why I'm so fired up about this topic, because this is all the stuff that nobody talks about. These gurus out there that are teaching you guys to just go put a squeeze page up and call it a day, like you're just going to get a flood of traffic. They're completely forgetting that there's a whole other element behind this and a lot more cost behind it. And it's not uncommon. We've seen it with some clients, just to get it dialed in, need to dump $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 into, between the development of the site, the page, the layouts, the assets for that, the messaging, the actual ad sets, the spend on the ads, to get enough data to really hone this thing in before it starts to convert. Right. So I don't want to go too far, down into that, because we could probably fill an entire episode just on this topic. But I really wanted to just kind of nail that today. And I'm going to throw it out like I did a little bit ago. If you're being taught, just go slap a squeeze page up and you'll be good to go. Or that you need squeeze pages for your foreclosure campaigns. You need a squeeze page for your bankruptcy campaigns. You need a squeeze page for this campaign, X, Y, Z campaigns. I'm giving you the permission to tell them, that person that's teaching you that you feel like they are completely wrong and they should probably go listen to, I think this is episode number 37 of the Web Buzz podcast. And if they don't know where to find it, they could just ping Shawn Tiberio on any social media. I'll gladly send them this episode so that they themselves can learn. Because it could be just that. I'm going to give some people the benefit of the doubt. They may just not have been taught the right information yet. They may not have been, or like Roger said, they've got 10, 15, 20 years in an industry. They've already got authority. They can get away with some of these other different styles and not need to maybe buy traffic because they got an email database that they can drive a bunch of people to it. Well, cost of emails is nothing in comparison to cost of ads. So there are some other nuances here. But the big message that many of you guys, especially new to an industry, new to the business, you're just trying, or even just new to digital. You haven't been in the digital space for a while. I know I got some different business owners around here that have been in business 30, 40, 50 years. But from a digital standpoint, they're infants, right? They just got a website a year ago kind of thing because they were forced into it. You got to build some of that trust. You've got to build that expertise. You've got to build the authority out there. Then some of these other more advanced strategies will bring an ROI that makes sense to you. So anything you want to leave everybody with? Well,
no, I think we are solid.
All right. I saw you kind of glitching up, and I was like, I know what he's going to say. He's going to just say, go take action.
Go take action.
But the action
right?
that I'm going to tell you guys to take is head over to topresultsconsulting.com or head over to reitoolbox.com and book a strategy call. We'll get on a call one-on-one with you and just break down your situation, your scenario, and tell you what makes sense from a digital standpoint. What assets do you have that are really good? What assets do you need to revamp? How could all of this combined help you? And what could those results start to look like if you put this all together? topresultsconsulting.com or reitoolbox.com. We'll link both of those down in the notes of this on the replay portion and on the audio side. But that's like the best thing that I can tell you to do, because there are some specifics to each business. We'll be able to talk that very specifically on that more private, dedicated one-on-one call, talk to your exact situation. But we'll give you the best help that we can. Whether we end up doing business with you or not, you're going to walk away from that call with kind of armed with the right information for you to move forward. So with that, I look forward to seeing those of you that will be on the webinar later this evening. For everybody else, as I say every single week, we'll see you back here next Wednesday on the live broadcast of the Web Buzz podcast. We will probably continue this conversation of some sort or an element behind it, because I think it's something that really needs to be kind of drilled in on. But we'll see you guys back here. Hopefully Roger will be back in his new home studio, back in his little setup. I did tell our contractor friend that he needs to get his butt over there and put them doors up for you. So hopefully that happens soon. So with that, we'll talk to you guys next week. And as always, here's to your success.